Hey, Cassidy. I've been texting you, but why no response? Hello? Come on, Cassidy. Sorry, Sandy. Just got back from work. No way. I didn't know you were working. Why not? 'Cause you're married? Is working a bad thing? Poor you. Why? You must be so poor that you both have to work to make a living. It's not like that. Being a child care worker has been my dream since I was a kid. I enjoy my job and have no plans to quit. Always putting a tough front, huh? But seeing all those messages during the day, it seems you're not working. Still living off our parents? Rude! I do part-time work, you know. But that part-time job doesn't pay enough for you to be independent, right? I'm living at home, so I don't need to hustle that much. Mom and Dad are still working, so even if I don't, we can still eat. I don't see the point of getting a real job. So you help out with housework, right? Mom does it all. Wow, seriously? If you keep depending on them, it's gonna be you in trouble if something happens to them. Oh, please. They're both still in their 60s. They're fine. I spoke to Mom on the phone the other day. She mentioned wanting to get you out of the house soon. She thinks that spoiling you won't do you any good. What? This is the first time I hear about this. You were born when Mom and Dad were already in their 40s, so you've been doted on since you were little. That's why you've turned into such a selfish adult. Mom regrets not being stricter with you. Jeez, so mean of her to say that. I'm their jewel, so they should look after me forever. You're terrible. Turning 25 and yet you're neither working or helping at home, but just drifting around. But you know what? I'm actually moving out. Oh, really? You've finally decided to be independent? I'm getting married! Wow, congratulations. Finally, no more leaning on Mom and Dad, huh? They must be relieved now. I've won! You won what? My fiancé is the next CEO. So, a future life of luxury is practically guaranteed for me. Quite different from you, who'll have to keep working even after marriage. Sigh. How about that? Feeling envious? No, not really. I don't recall competing with you, so it doesn't bother me. But you see, I never want to lose to you. Even though I'm way better looking, it was so frustrating for me when you got married first. I'm not satisfied unless I'm better than you in everything. Okay. But this time, I've won. His family owns a company, and his dad is the current CEO. He's set to take over as the eldest son soon, so I'll be the wife of the CEO. It's like a dream come true. Where did you meet him? I met him at a singles mixer. There's a bit of an age gap, but he listens to everything I say and is so sweet. He's been so busy with his work that he hasn't had a chance to meet anyone. He said, "I'm a really lucky guy to marry such a young and pretty girl." I see. Well, for a plain Jane like you, getting picked by a wealthy guy is an experience you'd never have. I wouldn't be so sure about that, you know. Once I'm married, I plan to be a stay-at-home wife. Since I'll be taken care of by the CEO of a company, I won't have to work, and I'll be set for life. How about that? Jealous? Not at all. Why not? Because I actually enjoy working. I've never even thought about wanting to be a stay-at-home wife. I see. Understood. What? I bet your husband's not making that much money. That's why you're acting tough, saying you enjoy working. But in truth, you're desperate, right? I'm not. Seriously. I genuinely love my job. What's the fun in a demanding job like childcare worker? Sure, it can be tough at times, but I love kids. And my husband isn't on a low salary. Don't make assumptions about him without even meeting him. Oops, my bad. Come to think of it, I've only seen him in photos. But when I think about a guy who wanted to marry you, I can only picture some regular white-collar worker. You pulled a sickie and ditched my wedding at the last minute, remember? Mom and Dad were so disappointed. I had my reasons. I just couldn't bear to see you looking so happy on your wedding day. But hey, I'll invite you to my wedding. Bring your husband along, okay? Let's see the contrast between the high-class and low-class couples. Sure, whatever. Looking forward to it. Cassidy, my wedding's coming up soon. You'll be there, right? Oh yeah, it's in a week, isn't it? Of course, I won't miss it. Are you texting me just to make sure? No, I wanted to give you a warning before the wedding. Warning? About what? Please don't embarrass me. What do you mean? Like, don't roll up to the venue in a beat-up pickup truck or something. It'll be so embarrassing, so don't, okay? What are you talking about? You've always been blasé about your appearance and belongings, right? Remember when you had that old beat-up car and wore whatever clothes jumped out at you first? That was back when I was a broke student, you know. Aren't you still kind of broke? I'm going to be the future CEO's wife. If his family finds out my older sister's struggling financially, it'll be so awkward. I get it. I'm aware of the rules of the game, so relax. But don't stress too much about it. Huh? I'm feeling quite bad for you. I'm sorry for making you spend money to attend my wedding. It must be tough to get an outfit and shoes sorted, right? Not really. My fiancé got me a designer wedding dress. But for you, a cheap dress from Shein will do just fine. Don't worry about that. I have a couple of formal dresses, thanks to my husband's work-related events. Events? You've never been to such a thing in your life. Blatantly making up stuff? I'm just telling the truth. Yeah, sure. You're just really annoyed that I'm going to be the future CEO's wife, aren't you? Not really. Well, you just keep living in poverty forever. I can totally picture you stomping your feet in frustration while witnessing my gorgeous bridal look. It's gonna be priceless. Hey, I need to ask you something. Yeah? What's up? Your wedding is about to start. Is it okay for the bride to be texting now? Whatever. I want to know what's up. I heard someone who looked like you and your husband arrived in a Mercedes. On top of it, neither of you was driving. Did your friend give you guys a ride? Oh, that was our private driver. A driver? Well, you mentioned not wanting your in-laws to think I was poor, right? I did say that, but... You said it'd be embarrassing to roll up in a beat-up pickup truck because they'd be appalled. Right. But there's a limit to everything, you know. You must have paid a luxury car service. But seriously, that's way too much. Are you trying to mess with me? I didn't arrange that. It's been routine for us to have a driver when we go out together, ever since I got married. No way! Stop joking around! Your husband isn't as wealthy as mine. He actually is. What? He didn't show any signs of it when we first met. I was genuinely surprised when I visited his family. He comes from a long line of landowners and runs a real estate business. Landowner? Yeah, everyone in his family is wealthy, and of course, their family home is a mansion. I thought I wasn't good enough to marry into that family, but it turns out they're down to earth and welcoming despite their status. They embraced me, so I decided to marry him. It's a tight-knit family, and I'm incredibly happy now. I had no idea! Why didn't you tell me? Mom and Dad never mentioned anything like that. They probably chose not to tell you on purpose. Why not? Because they know how competitive you are. They worried you'd do something out of jealousy if you found out. You're kidding! I thought I finally had one up on you. Even if my husband's the future CEO, he drives a domestic car himself. There's no way he can compete with someone who has a personal driver. Whether he's rich or not, it doesn't determine who's winning or losing, you know. Huh! You're probably mocking me as a poor person deep down. Why would you even think that way? I didn't marry him because he's rich. I just happened to fall for someone who happens to be affluent. Ugh! It's so annoying. I shouldn't have invited you to my wedding. It's a bit late to say that now. Oh, by the way, I heard your husband's business is a family-run company. Wait, what? I bumped into some of your hubby's relatives in the lobby earlier. They told me quite a bit. Sounds like your father-in-law runs a small construction company. A small construction company? Don't tell me you didn't know. It's been running since your husband's grandfather's time. They've run it with only family members, not hiring employees. I heard that your mother-in-law is currently in charge of accounting and other administrative tasks. What? Hold on. What do you mean it's just the family? Oh my God, you didn't know any of it? I didn't know it was a family business. All I knew was that his dad was running the company. So you didn't check anything before. But when someone says they run a business, you'd imagine there are like 1,000 employees and the CEO sits in a fancy office, right? Unfortunately, it sounds like it's just a family working there. From what the relatives said, your in-laws intend for you to join the company after marriage to learn the ropes. What? I haven't been told about that. Geez, you decided to marry without knowing anything. I was supposed to be a classy full-time homemaker married to the future company CEO, not some office clerk in a tiny company. Even so, it's a family business. If your husband's supposed to take over from his dad as the CEO, wouldn't you end up doing accounting like your mother-in-law? No way! I'm terrible at math. I just suck at working in the first place. If you're not happy, why not talk to him and your in-laws about it? What am I going to do? I'm starting to regret this whole thing. This is far from what I had expected. Anyway, don't you need to get ready? The ceremony's starting soon, isn't it? Cassidy, I don't want to marry him after all. Is there any way to call off the wedding right now? What? Are you insane? We've already got a lot of guests scattered here. Canceling it now is totally out of the question. Can't we come up with some excuse, like saying the bride suddenly felt ill or something, and cancel it? Pulling a sickie again? I don't want to go through with this. I've never heard of anyone faking an illness for their wedding. Besides, didn't you decide to marry him because you love him? Even if things don't go exactly as planned, isn't overcoming them together what marriage is about? I decided to marry for an elegant lifestyle as a CEO's wife. If it meant hustling in a family-run business, I wouldn't have chosen that old man. That's quite disrespectful to him, you know. I should probably head inside now. Let's cut the chat here. I'm looking forward to seeing you in your wedding dress. Wait! Cassidy! I can't do this! It wasn't supposed to be like this. Guess what? I want an annulment. Jeez, you just had your wedding yesterday. What are you talking about? I can't take it. I should never have gone through with it. You were looking upset the whole time, even though you were supposed to be the star of the show. Of course I was grumpy. My whole life's been thrown off track. Wait, are you still bothered by joining your in-laws' company? If you really don't want to, just explain your reasons and decline. It's not like you made any promises to them before marriage. I didn't, but they're not the type to listen to my opinions. What happened? After the wedding, my in-laws told me I had to join the company right away. I also have to move in with them. Oh, so besides taking over the company, you're also expected to live together? We planned to live just the two of us. We had found an apartment, but they forced us to cancel the lease. Before the wedding, they were nice to me and never mentioned living together. Now, they've both become strict like they're different people. They say, I'm married into their family, so I must obey what they say. Even my husband now insists that the wife should follow the husband's family. Oh no, the whole family holds old-fashioned values. Everything feels completely different now. Was I deceived? My husband used to agree with all my wishes before we got married. What in the world did I do? They probably acted nice because they were desperate to find a wife. So, they were all acting? Most likely. How old is your husband now? He's almost 40. Perhaps he had trouble finding a partner due to his work and parents. Amidst that, your readiness to marry just because he's the successor might have been attractive to him. No way! Normally, you'd ask about the other person's job and parents before getting married. But all you could think of was that being the CEO meant being rich. You accepted his proposal before you tried to get to know him well enough, right? I'm sure he must have been grateful for your presence as he was in a rush. What the heck? It's like I fell into a trap. I wouldn't say it's a trap exactly. While it's terrible that they're pressuring you to live with them and join their company after the wedding, you're also at fault for not properly evaluating your partner before deciding to marry. Then, I'm divorcing him right away. Give me your husband. What? What nonsense are you talking about? I want to marry a wealthy guy. Being wealthy doesn't mean anyone will do, right? At this point, it doesn't matter. I just want to escape from them. I'm tired of being bossed around by these old-fashioned people. And you want my husband in exchange for that? Why not? I'll give you mine in return. You can't just trade husbands like objects. It's not fair that you got what I want. You've found a wealthy husband and live a high life. I want a personal chauffeur with a Mercedes too. We're sisters, so share some happiness with me. You found the next CEO as your husband, haven't you? You got blessings from many people at your wedding. Do your best and be happy. I won't! I can't be happy! Why am I the only one facing this? I just wanted to marry a wealthy man. I haven't done anything wrong. It seems like payback for looking down on and judging others for being poor. I'm going out to dinner with my husband now. Later. Wait, Cassidy! I'm sorry for saying you're poor. Please, don't abandon me. Sandy started living with her husband and in-laws. She also began working at their company, leaving her with no time to rest, caught up in household chores and work. Her mother-in-law's guidance was so strict that it bordered on bullying, and she couldn't tolerate it anymore. She brought up the topic of divorce with her husband, but he just dismissed it. Her in-laws scolded her, saying, "Divorce? Don't make a fuss over such trivial matters." Leaving that family anytime soon seems impossible. Undoubtedly, she deeply regrets marrying for money. As for me, I'm surrounded by a loving husband and his family, doing a job I find fulfilling and enjoying happy days. What's more, we recently found out that a new life is growing inside me. Right now, my family and I are eagerly anticipating the birth of our baby.
Thank you for watching. Please rate the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.